Well, hello, Monday, marvelous people. It's really good to see you. My name is Jennifer Ogilvy. I will be your on screen facilitator this morning as we set up for a brand new week. And joining me today, we have a special treat. Malika is coming to us from California. It's pretty early there. So, some of you early birds know, if you know, you know, it's still early, but she's going to be hanging out in the chat with you. So I'm so glad that she was available today so we could be together to start our week. It is so good to see you. Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. That smoke is terrible. I'm so sorry to those of you who are dealing with that. And I hope that maybe some of the pressure systems will change a little bit and bring some rain to settle that air out because that's rough. I am an allergy person and I get that when it's different. And then it's just hot. Like Texas, we're having our hottest week this summer so far. So I'm not very happy about it. All the plants are thirsty. I'm thirsty. Everything's wilting. It's just that time of year. So we're going to just try to, have a can-do attitude and make it through. So make sure your chat is set to everyone. And Jennifer Wood, I forgot that you were from Baytown. I was a Missouri City girl for most of my adult life. I'm in the Dallas, Texas area, and y'all might get some rain. I see the Gulf Coast is doing some stuff. So, anyhow, you guys just, take what you need this week. This time is for you. And we're gonna we're gonna get through it. So I have kept this little graphic up because I do feel like July has been a nice natural reset, rethinking, going back to what did we say we wanted at the front of the year? What do we need now? And y'all just make sure, yeah, those fires are making their own weather system. Yeah, Jennifer, I hear that. It's weird how different pockets can do, like Central Texas has all these lakes, and it's like it'll be real dry around the lake, and we'll get rain, and the rain will split around those bodies of water. It's so weird to watch. So yeah, neat nature, right? Anyway, we're resetting our heart, refocusing on energy and choosing the direction for the rest of the year. And I love doing that, having that mindset as we've been exploring this theme of savoring this month. A little lighter theme, little fun. Anyhow, so yeah, let's get going with that weekly setup. I'm laughing at our numbers. We're slowly building our Monday bunch. Speaking of savoring our summer, Meha's going to be doing a great event in 2 days. And so you'll want to be sure to catch this. Malika just dropped that link in the chat. You can go to Eventbrite and sign up, invite a friend. And if you can't attend live, feel free to go ahead and sign up because then you'll get like that notice, like the recording's there ready to go. It'll be kind of that reminder to yourself. But we love when Meha just comes on live and shares her passion and challenges us in our Silk and Sonder journey. So you won't want to miss that. It's gonna be a good one, a good one, and probably the pick me up lots of us need right now. There are those community guidelines that we share every time that we gather together to create these spaces for each other. If you happen to be new, drop a me in the chat because our Monday group will want to give you a big welcome. Now, I know y'all are like this consistent little force in Silk and Sonder, the Monday people. You're here. And so I know probably everybody's been here before, but if you're new, please drop a me. We want to give you a welcome. And as a reminder, this is being recorded and you are off screen, you are no mics. And so, it's a great way to hold yourself accountable for your journal journey. I love this. Be a rebel, enjoy Monday, and find a reason to like it. So that's why we're here. Oh, Chris, well, I'm glad that you're here with us, even if you are an occasional Monday person. We're open to all. Let's go in, jump back into the idea of savoring. Have you been enjoying this theme? Are you finding it hitting nicely in these summer months? I certainly am. I like it a lot, and I kind of needed something a little lighter. We have been doing some heavy lifting through the themes this year. Y'all know I talk about losing my brother in March, so I've sort of had a little rain cloud hanging with me. And this savoring focus has kind of helped me step back and really look for those glimmers, be even more intentional in the things I can savor in the midst of everything else that's going on. So I have really liked the theme. So we're going to do our regular agenda, the mind map, which is that bonus prompt you get for coming to a weekly setup, our rosebud thorn reflection, and then our weekly setup pages. And so I've got examples to show you now. Many of us kind of do the same thing week to week, but we gather together so we can be with one another and engage with community, which is so important for our mental health, to have our people. But I will have some examples to show you for consideration. And, maybe something will inspire how you set your journal up. Or, next week's our transition week, if you can believe it, into a new month. So we will be doing that hybrid July, August setup next week. And so there might be some things that you'll think about trying as we turn our pages into a brand new month and a new journal. So yeah, where is the summer going? Although summer used to be my favorite because I was an educator. But now I am definitely a spring fall girly, and the heat. It's just I'm a grumpy lady when it comes to heat. Anyhow, so yeah, we will be kind of exploring a little bit of August next week, and I've got some maybe monthly ideas for you to think about. I'll be doing a couple of the monthly setups. Anyway, yes, one more month closer to fall, Kate. Almost time for cinnamon and pumpkins. So we can do it. So if you are here for the first time, we do a mind map again, a deeper dig into our theme of the month through a bonus prompt. These sometimes build on each other, but pretty much they stand alone. So if you've missed the last couple of weeks, it's okay. Grab a screenshot. You can go back and do it later, or you don't have to do it at all. And this can be set up anywhere in your journal. Again, it's a bonus prompt, so it's not printed in your journal. But we are being invited this month to slow down and think about the things that nourish us. Perhaps it's memories, conveniences, all those things that we can savor in our daily life. And I got lucky. I got to be the mind map question maker. So this is my month. And so I had a lot of fun creating these prompts for y'all. So, week one, we looked at the overlooked things in our life. We talked about stuff like those comforts, like turning on the electricity, putting getting in the car and it starts. That some of those things that we just need to stop and be grateful for, those overlooked things. And then last week, oh my gosh, we had so much fun with the media in our life. The books, the films, the plays, all those things that have informed us, maybe changed us, gave us a greater outlook and understanding of the world. We had so much fun with that one. Those songs that brought us back. And then this week, we are looking at savoring childhood. Now, I know many of us have had some childhoods that weren't the best, right? I'm kind of there with you. My family of origin was not so great. But we're not going there today. That's not this kind of exercise. We are going back to those moments that, we can remember those qualities and experiences and ways of being that just evoke a sense of nostalgia. So, the question today is, what part of your childhood is still worth savoring today? What qualities of your younger self would you like to invite back into your life? And so I started thinking, I kind of um back, reverse engineered this one and thought about the things that I truly love now and kind of went back to the origin story of those things. And so I've got some graphics here to tell you, but the things that I think I want to invite back into my life or what's worth savoring for me, I wrote that I need more unplanned, unstructured, unscripted play in my life, more spontaneous moments, focusing on things that I can get just obsessed with. And so here's some things for me that inspired this response. Um, Oh, and Talia, I'll go back to that slide that's got all of them on there for you to grab a screenshot, and then you can always go back and watch a recording of the YouTube replay of one of the weekly setups for week two. But for me, I'm kind of dating myself, so I love playing games. I don't play games that often. My husband is not a game person. And so that was a thing that brought me so much joy and savoring being around the table with people and, talking smack and giving each other heck. And one of my favorite games as a kid was the game of life. I just loved it. And so I need to bring that back into my life and find more opportunities to maybe play some games with, just have a game night, not worry about whether Jim will play or not. Yes, stickers is a great one. The Boxcar Children, my first series of books, and I did an I did an old cover because I'm old, but I remember discovering those books at the bookmobile and escaping, and it made me like this lifelong reader. And it made me think, oh, I need to like tap into some good series again because that brought me so much joy, and I felt like I knew these people and I was part of their life, and so that's something I'm going to do. I have a pickup truck picture there. Y'all, my dad drove a pickup truck and he would park it in the driveway and the neighborhood kids would come over. And this is where I got that unscripted play, unplanned play. Sometimes it was a boat, sometimes it was a hideout, sometimes we just had we would just have tons of kids crawling in and out of this truck. So that inspired me for the play. I need more of that unscripted, just follow my heart play. Music. I had one of those little record players that looked almost like the image there. And it makes me realize I need to be more intentional with the music that is maybe in the background of my life because I would sit and play I probably had 8 little 45s that I played over and over and over again. And then that little stitchery there, bloom where you are planted. My grandmother gave me an embroidery kit when I was little. That was the first embroidery I ever did, and then I finished it. But also the quote, bloom where you are planted, was like a compass for me. And it just brought me so much joy. And so, for this crafts and hobbies for the sake of crafts and hobbies, not for a finished product, but just how it lingers with you. And so, yeah, I want to do more of that. I wish I had that. It was harvest green, harvest gold, and that olive green and brown, back in the 70s. Anyhow, what is it for you? Do you remember the wind on your face as you pedaled your bicycle in the street in the summers, or was it the water hose and drinking and playing in the sprinklers. Think about all those things that, you could embrace. What would your younger self want you to do today? And to bring that back into your life. Again, this is not about other people and maybe stuff that was tough. This is about the good stuff. Think about those friends you ran around with, maybe things in school. And oh, the ice cream truck. Yeah, we should all go chase down an ice cream truck. That would be a perfect way of inviting some joy and things to savor in our life. So y'all keep dropping them in there because you're going to inspire each other with these answers. And then I'm going to challenge you to perhaps think about a way this could show up somewhere in your life this week. What is going to make you lose track of time? What can you do? Things tap into your senses as you're reflecting on this, those tastes from your childhood, those smells. Think about those kinds of things. Did you have a collection? What did you collect? Could you bring that back into your world? I can't wait to hear what you write about today. Please share in the chat. kept thinking of things. So I am going to make a mud pie when I'm out in the garden, and I'm going to decorate it with my yard flowers because that was a big, I used to always play in the mud as a kid. And did y'all do those like clover crowns in your head? I think on your, a crown for your head or a necklace out of those flowers. Yeah, so many things, and we just kept piling on for each other. So I want to encourage you to find a way to embrace little you this week, younger you, and just go do something silly. Just to for the pure sake of doing it, because that's how kids approach life. There's no agendas. It just happens. And so just, do it for the sake of doing it. I know with my hobbies, so often I think it needs to be this product. And like, it's okay if I create something and donate it to the thrift store. It's more about the process and what that did for me. So y'all keep thinking about it. And yeah, that Love's Baby Soft. I love that it's coming up again. I had shared with y'all my rose last week. My kids gave me a perfume subscription, and it's like 3 months of little trials. But they gifted it with a bottle of Love's Baby Soft, and oh my gosh, I kept saying, if you know, you know, because it does it. I was 13 again. Anyhow, so yeah, consider those things. This was so great. And work on this throughout the week as you are tapping into younger you, little you. What were those things that, you look back now and go, "Oh, that was so good." Savor that and then try to incorporate that somewhere in your week and bring that younger you to the surface again. It'll be good for you. All righty. So let's now turn to page 44 where we'll do our reflection over this past week. This is a staple of our weekly setup, and it's where we look at the thorns, the things that might be roadblocks, not going our way, out of our control, stuff that's tough, the buds, things that we're looking forward to, things that are like, kind of giving us hope. Maybe it's the thing that's balancing the thorn. And then, of course, the roses in our life. What are we celebrating from last week? Those wins. The smallest wins are the best wins. So think about those little things. I have found myself ruminating over all the things I did not get done because I had a really long list, and I'm trying to shift that focus into what I did get done though, because I did do a lot. I just didn't quite meet my mark that I set for myself. So I need to adjust that mark. I'll start with my thorn. Y'all know I keep my grand pup a lot because my daughter travels with her work. Oh, I have that to-do list for sure, Nicole. Um, but my little grandpup's not doing so great. She's a rescue. They don't know if it's an old age vesticular vestibular something in her head. She's having trouble standing and going potty and all that. And so they've spent a lot of money to try to figure out what's going on with her. But she's my Lona dog because my husband doesn't want another dog. And so I'm really sad about my little grand pup, Ellie. My butt is, I've been talking about my girls' weekend, those ladies that I raised my kids with there in Houston. It is this coming weekend. I am so excited to see my girls. And then this past week, Jim and I went to the library, and our maker space has all this stuff. Well, they have a laser cutter, or the laser cutter thing, and it's very hard to get the introduction class, which is required to be able to use the different materials, and we were able to get into that class. And so I got another hobby to add to my repertoire, so that I can get some more half-finished things in my life. But I'm real excited about that. That's also kind of a bud. And just that graphic. Don't forget about all of the days when everything went right. So always trying to shift those thorns when we can. Anyhow, please share. We'll work on this. We want to know, what are you celebrating? What can we celebrate together? And where do you need a little extra love? Where do you need to know that other people are thinking about you and they've got your back? Share that as you're comfortable. Thank y'all for sharing in the chat. I love how you show up for each other week after week. And um, some of those thorns that you shared are tough. I know there are probably a lot of thorns that weren't mentioned, but know that this community is thinking about, just Silk and Sonder people at large. And so if you feel a little overwhelmed or a little down, just know you've got people. And hopefully some of those thorns can be flipped around, or you can have a lesson or something that when you look back, you'll be like, okay, but I survived it. And it reveals something about, your tenacity and who you are. So thank you for sharing in the chat. So we want to very quickly talk about our Silk and Sonder Sonder Club app. and remind you that there is a little space in the app for inspiration. Now, there's not a lot of weekly stuff there, but there is a lot of great ideas for repurposing things like your expense tracker, your mood tracker, that kind of thing. We also share some of those at the monthly setup, but we wanted just to kind of shout out to remind y'all that that is there, as well as Justin Sonder Club, where y'all post and share your pages. We want to encourage you to do that, your setup, or even just part of your setup. So I pulled some sleep tracker examples. So here's a couple of trackers used as actual sleep trackers and how people are using those. But here's one: overall satisfaction. I think that was maybe Kimberly's example there on the left. She was just thinking, how pleased do I feel about today and why? And so she was just sort of doing that reflection. Joanna, thank you for sharing. Joanna's is on the right. You can see that's where her affirmations go every day. So that's a great repurpose, just right through those lines. So thank you for sharing so that we could share with one another. Someone else is repurposing it as a workout tracker. And then I have been using mine as a senses tracker. I decided I would do a sense reflection piece every evening, just to try to embrace our theme. And so I've just done, something that caught my eye for sight, and what sound did I pay attention to? What kind of touch was in my life. Taste is always very always very easy. And then smell. And I really have enjoyed this because it's made me slow down. And I may actually take this forward into just a daily practice of embracing my senses through that quick little reflection. So just wanted to show how you could repurpose that. We're going to be working on pages 46 and 47 this week, and I'm going to kind of streamline our setup because I do want to spend, pardon me, some time on some of those infographics that I've pulled for you, a lot of calendars, things that will inspire some of these spaces. So I know that this is like kind of vacation season. So I wanted to share with you, like, if you're going on vacation, I love like these stickers. The meal plan area is being used as the favorite moment. And I want you to notice also how the days of the week have been shifted to be reflected. So it's starting with Saturday going down to Friday. So that's kind of fun. If you are going on vacay, and lots of fun stickers and just setting up this vibe on the pages, not worrying about habits and activities. But also notice over in the shopping list, it's a back to reality reset. So also kind of having that mindset of, okay, when vacation's over, what needs to happen, and sort of sorting out those thoughts and putting them on paper so you can leave them there. So things like, I've got to unpack and do laundry and get to the grocery store, but kind of giving a lot of power to writing it down, so then it's not ruminating and bouncing around in your head and making you not have fun. So I thought that was a really great idea. And then you could see the little calendar up in the upper corner of this page. The vacation week is marked, and then the setup was, number one goal was fun, fun, fun. There's my road trip bingo from when we went to Indiana for my nephew's graduation. So that was fun. I enjoyed a little road trip bingo. So anytime we take a trip now, I'm going to do some kind of a little bingo just to kind of, again, it made me pause pause, notice, um, kind of pay attention. And then someone else has a vacation bingo there. So, and if you're not traveling, what does it look like to frame your pages out? Maybe you give yourself a staycation week and you sort of format your journal pages for a slower week. Especially if you're an educator, summer's ticking, right? And we're going to be facing the back to school stuff soon. So I know, shh, don't talk about that. We don't talk about August. But maybe you embrace like this week, I'm giving myself the gift of a staycation. And what does that look like? Is it a trip to Sonic for a cool drink? And is it maybe not tracking habits? Is it taking the week off? So think about that. I love reminding you to check in with yourself before we kind of look at how we want to feel this week. Or maybe you leave this blank and do your setup and then look and see what feeling you might think you need for the week. But we want to make sure, how is your body feeling? What is your mindset like? Are you treating yourself nicely? Are you tired? Have you been sleeping, at night? Are you getting good restful sleep or are you waking up tired? What do you need to let go of? Let's do that check in with self before we frame out the word we want. Now, many of you I know are bringing the same word, like you choose a word for the month, or maybe you have a word for the year that you are bringing over to this space. It could be defined differently every single week. You do what you think you need for the week. I love this one. This week, I want to feel calm, and then some. May I be safe? May I be seen? May I be secured? May I be soothed? And so, sort of this mantra written there to support this calmness. And then that informed directly the goals: safe, seen, secure, and soothed. So I thought that, oh, I love that, Dawn. Thank you. And I've been going into my archives, so I don't know if that's one of the older ones of yours or not, but I've been trying to, what's old is new again. And then we've got a whole word cloud there. So drop in the chat um, kind of what you're thinking. And again, you may want to do the rest of your setup first and then find the word based on what pours onto your page. We're going to take a look at those goals and to-dos, and I have several examples of setting these spaces up for, just like there's the goals, and then a lot of these are in the to-dos are directly informed by those goals, set up a little bit differently. But I love, we love the categories so you can see like business, home life, health, me, family, home. I love having me goals. Oh, that's so cool. Personal relationships, create, and then the have to do's. And so, really prioritizing that. And how about that hands off, eyes off, mind off? Those are pretty powerful reminders. So this is that bottom right one is really about creating a mindset of, taking care of self and, let your business be your business. So I thought that was a pretty powerful example to share with y'all today. A mind, body, soul goal. Again, most of these goals are informing the to-do spaces. And then, of course, that idea of changing that up if you need to. So maybe your goals become a bingo board of some of the things that need to happen. The one in the upper left, you can see that the to-do box is intention work. So going back to that intention page and pulling out physical health, money management, and fun. So that's the focus of making sure that that intention is happening. We're so sometimes we forget to flip back to those pages. And then some to-dos are in that bingo. All righty. So there's our goals and to-dos, and then our habits and activities. So I know many of you you know how you track your habits. Sometimes you have a goal, sometimes you don't do a goal. That's great. Maybe you just use it as a straight tracker, but I want you to think, and you might want to flip back through the last few weeks. Look at your big habit tracker wheel, look at your weekly habits and activities. Are there, or is there maybe one habit that you're struggling with? And if so, I want you to pull that habit. I want you to be thinking about it. And we're going to talk a little bit about what might be going on and something to consider for your habits. So there's this habit loop created. James Clear, created this idea or put it down in writing so we can understand what's going on in our brain. We get a cue. So, like this dude's walking by the donut shop, right? So he's thinking he got a cue, that donut shop. Then he has this craving, and then his response is he went in and bought a donut, and the reward was he ate it, and yummy, my tummy feels so happy. So the cue, craving, response, reward is a cycle that we all go through when we are setting habits. Sometimes they're great habits for us. Sometimes they're not so good, right? Like we queue up habits that mine is social media and wasting time, but I get like this. I crave to look at the imagery, and my response is to pull it up, and I start going through it. And my reward was, I saw this stuff. It felt good at the moment, but maybe that wasn't good for me. So keep this habit loop in mind as you're creating habits. And then when you're trying to implement really great habits to influence your life, James Clear says, first, make it visible. And so he's got some ideas here. One of the biggies we talk about a lot is habit stack. So if you are already brewing your coffee every morning, a stack could be while the coffee's brewing, I'm going to drink that glass of water. I'm going to hydrate at the front end of the day. So, taking a habit you're already doing and stacking with a new habit, and then finding a way to make that happen through this implementation intention, which is a tracker, using some kind of a tracker, scheduling that time with yourself and track it. Another thing is to make it attractive. So, for example, this person is wanting to move more, and so they're making the treadmill a little more attractive by bundling it with something maybe that is a guilty pleasure. So they're doing their screen time only when they're doing that treadmill. So they're pairing those together, right? So think about maybe it's a little bit of a reward cycle there. And then find your people where you are in a culture where the behavior is normal to sit with your journal and hold yourself accountable there. So think about what you want to do and maybe how you can pair that with a reward. So make it attractive, and then, of course, make it easy. Find the first, most easiest step. If you want to do 20 sit ups every day, track doing one sit up because one will get you to 20. So we want to do this person's going to do one push up. Well, the chances are if you can say I can do one push up, you're going to add a few on there. So make it as easy as possible. Prep. Think about what you can do the night before for tomorrow you, right? So that's, and then, place your habit along your path. So it might be, he always talks about like if you want to go walking every day, you don't put your sneakers in the closet. You put your sneakers by your purse and you grab them as you walk out the door, and they are in the car with you. So you place that habit along your path. So if you're struggling with a habit, think about how that could be implemented. And then finally, make it satisfying. Like, how can you reward yourself? I love that little present. But maybe it's just like, if I make all these sit-ups this month, or this week, I'm going to give myself 30 minutes of social media scrolling. What is your reward? What does that feel like for you? So, I'm going to go back through those, but I want you to think about if there is a habit, how you can maybe add something to make that habit happen as you're looking back over the last few weeks if something hasn't been hitting like you want it to hit. So I'm going to go back through these slides while you finish up this page. And if there's a habit you're working on that you want to kind of shore up, share that. Like, let us be your accountability partner in that. All righty. Let us know. All righty. So, Joanna was looking for some ideas on, trying to get that good sleep, that good rest. And, I'm definitely not the one to ask because I have a problem with revenge bedtime. I just stay up just because I can. But, Joanna, it is true that, I heard sleep, it's hard to sleep in as an adult, like to be because there's just responsibilities, right? So that like going to bed early, is like sleeping in. So if do it on the front the front load of sleeping, but it is hard sometimes. So if y'all have some suggestions, drop that in the chat. And I was laughing because this slide on, doing habits and that kind of thing, that guy's, doing a sit up and he's got his image there of future him. And I've actually been writing a 90 near my habits because I'm trying to choose habits for 90-year-old me. As I've entered this second chapter of life, I want to make sure that I'm as vital as I can be when I'm 90. And so what I do now is for 90-year-old me. But I struggle with those habits because I don't like to exercise and I don't, and it's hot and I love salads and now I can't eat salads, right? Because we're all afraid we're going to get terrible things happening to our body if we have salads. So anyway, but there's always excuses, right? So I do have some coaching that I'm following on the Instagrams and that kind of thing. But yeah, lettuce in the garden is great. Everything here is going to seed because it's hot, hot, hot. But yeah, taking care of future me, and that's what's informing my habits. So I kind of diverted from our traditional habit talk this morning and wanted to share those. And really when I do that, it's because it's me who needs to be reminded of those things. So I hope you were able to maybe take a look at a habit that you're struggling with and sort of maybe reframe it. Make it as simple as you can. Put in some accountability. I hope that those slides were helpful for that reconsideration of what your habits are looking like. All right, so let's look at our page 2 of our setup so I'm going to go through the meal plan, mind, body, health plan, and shopping list together because all of these spaces get a lot of repurposing. Of course, you are invited to use them just as they're printed. But also, I know some folks will only do their main meal of the day, so they put it in a smaller space so they can use their meal plan area for something else. So I've got a few examples to show you. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I do have those inspo graphics for maybe informing parts of these pages. So we've got some meal plan repurposing on both of these. Take note, those are sort of the biggies of the day for this person that's on the left. And then this week, and then it's sort of a reflection. Read, reached out to, created, tried for the first time. I love that. Appreciated and accomplished. What a great moment of reflection that way. They've used their mind body health plan, the one on the right, with the alliteration days. So mindful Monday, tackle it Tuesday, whimsical Wednesday. And when we can make things fun and have a little whimsy, kind of gamify it through bingo boards, that kind of thing. Chances are it's going to be pretty good. And also, I want to show you that little post-it note under Mind Body Health Plan. If there's spaces that look the same from week to week, there's nothing wrong with putting this stuff on a post-it note and just moving this post-it note over from week to week for that space. Again, some more quote of the day. We've got my week at a glance. I love the mind body health reflection over on the right because that's kind of a what did I do today for my mind body health, and it's I took a nap before work. Maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. And then we've got self-care bingo with just 6 things so that can happen. Whereas somebody is using their shopping list as a doodle space, and their mind body health plan is reflecting the 7 types of rest. We've got savoring a moment in the menu meal plan for the one on the left. So if you're enjoying this theme and you want to bring that idea of savoring, thank you, Chris, for sharing that. I loved that idea. Are you doing the savoring a moment from week to, each week this month? I love that. Yes, I love it. She says she's doing the same thing. And there's no reason to recreate if something's working for you. And then you do your one main meal. I see you put your dinner plan there in the Mind Body Health, and then you're tracking what you read, watch, and listen. So that media, and that was that influenced by the mind map question last week, or are you doing that also? Yeah, you're listening as your podcast. So are you doing that every week, or was it just kind of embracing last week's mind map? All right, you tracked it. Okay, that's what goes there. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And then, of course, we all love a bingo, so you can see that. And then there's that ta-da list. I love mind, body, health ta-das. I set a boundary. I said no. So that's great. And then I've got the inspiration slides, and you've seen many of these. I threw in a couple new ones, but some of those monthly things, they have a lot of things for you to see. So I'm going to stop talking and I'll just put music on so we'll scroll through those so you can see them, and then we'll close out our time together. I'm laughing on about our Silken Sonder calendar here. Today is the day that we should watch a sunrise or a sunset. So for me, it's going to have to be sunset. I was not up early enough to watch the sunrise, but I've been putting these prompts in my meal plan throughout the month. And as a reminder, this has been recorded, so you can always go back and grab anything that you might have missed or that you want to take a second look at. I know a few of you are doing a photo a day challenge. That's a beautiful way to embrace this idea of savoring summer, really focusing on a word a day. And just, think about right now, what are you loving? And you started the photo challenge and forgot. Melissa, there's time for reset. That's what we're all about. So you can do that again. Again, we love to see your examples posted in Sonder Club because that inspires the slides that you get to see when you come to these these weekly setups. It allows us to get new material for you. And then again, just another shout out to that wonderful, wonderful exclusive that is this week, 2 days. We hope to see you there. Thank y'all for showing up for not just yourselves, but for each other today. Have a great week. I send you lots of light and love.